Hello, everybody, anybody. My name is Paul Mooney. In Irish, my name is Onmweinig, and I'm presenting to you today Communitas Celticus. I realize I'm showing this in presenter mode because I want the notes to be present during the video. So I'll do that first, and then I'll just do a quick slideshow at the end. I'm trying to explain 12 years of research coming into the present and being presented in a 30-year program. So please forgive me if it no, don't forgive me. Don't forgive me at all. Communitas Celticus, it's a PhD program that I'm undertaking myself as part of TCA, organized by Ronnie Lessem and Da Vinci Institute of Business Leadership in South Africa, and it's a doctoral thesis in management and innovation. I started it in 29. I expect to finish it in 2023, 2024. My Celtic name is Mwenig, so anytime you see that name there, that's me. And my own Celtic roots, Mooney, go back about 1500 years into Irish history, hence the roots of Celtic in the theme. Samanyanga is the African name for Ronnie Lessem, and he's the founder of TCA. He is what's called my co-creator and my academic supervisor in the project. Celtic civilization, it's an ancient circular economy and culture which was disestablished first in the year 42 by the Roman Catholic Church in the coming of St. Patrick, and more recently by an 800-year colonization of Ireland by England. So I've teamed up with Ronnie to co-create this program. I'm located in Wicklow, which is a county in Ireland. It's the centre for the core of the work. Ronnie is based in the UK, so between Ireland and UK, we're holding the energetic centre for the process. I've had my research proposal approved by Da Vinci, and then I threw it in the bin, and I've set it aside in favor of Ronnie's approach around Communiversity. So this proposal, it's called a conceptual framework, has been approved by Ronnie, and we continue to iterate it for academic rigor in order for it to be deployed towards a viva voce, which will be undertaken by the academic panel of Da Vinci. It's planned to fund the entire program through a European grant. We're not sure which grant program it will be. That'll probably take 6 months to 12 months to figure that out. But we'll be applying for an economic grant so that it has funding, that it has client revenue, that it has contracts, that it has staff, and it'll use an exponential company model to operate itself. And exponential companies come from the work of the Singularity University using the acronyms SCALE and IDEAS. I won't go into them in detail now. The data will be captured not in a traditional Word document. Instead, the material will be captured on a community-based platform called Ning, where all the members of the community can provide documents, members' profiles, videos, charts, articles, references, all linking to both seminal and modern theorists. And at this stage, the core stage, the number of people in the program is 2. Then we expand the program to include people who will be part of my PhD group. And they will start their own project. And this project will also call on 6 apprentices. So you can see how me reaching out to 6, and those 6 will reach out to 6, and those 36 will reach out to 6. We're talking about how we're going to expand the community. Each generation will take about 3 to 5 years to complete. And within 5 years of 5 cycles, 25 to 30 years, the target number we're looking for is to qualify 46,664 PhDs under this process. My PhD will be conferred by Da Vinci, but every other member of the community, their PhD will be conferred by TCA as a conferring institution. And this is part of my postdoctoral work. Once my doctoral work is complete, I will establish TCA as a conferring institute. So at the moment, each apprentice has their own master's qualification from various bodies. And I just have to park that. And while there are 6 people shown right now, there may be more people going forward. So at the moment, the people are based in England, Ireland, South Africa, and Argentina. So we will create a dialogic learning circle based on Baumian work, the work of David Baum. And we'll use these dialogues as a way to unearth the root of Communitas Celticus and to transform them into various action-based plans, which we will all collaborate on together, both virtually and in presence, depending on travel restrictions, of course. Everybody will be paid for their time, and students can pay for tuition for cash or services, or pay it forward using our circular economy. And at this stage, the member of the communities looks to be about the size of 8. The next stage then is to expand it to TCA mentors and the ancient guild, or the Guild of Ancient Dialogues Elder Group, and they will contribute to the work packages created by the core group and the apprentice group. Some of these mentors have been identified by Samanyanga, some have been identified by myself, and they too will be paid for their time and space. They're being called on to add insight, perspective, and to provide a way to create a dialogic learning community which can augment and temper and catalyze certain ideas, actions, and intentions. So there may be actions that the Communitas Celticus can take that can be adapted for the local environment, whether it's in Zambia or Zimbabwe or whatever. Sorry, my phone is going again. And at this stage, the ecosystem membership is about 25 people. We're then going to expand it at one more layer, and this is the Celtic layer. So we're going to be calling on Druids from the order of Bards, Ovates, and Druids, and I'm a member of that community myself, and they will represent each of the Celtic nations: Ireland, Scotland, Wales, Cornwall, Spain, Britain, Galatia, the Isle of Man, and other nations that consider themselves to come from a Celtic root. The call will also be made to the Celtic League, and we hope that they will be able to provide us with some institutional support based on the contract. What will happen then is we'll repeat stage 2, which means we'll expand the dialogic community for both small group work and large group work, and we'll be running Druidic dialogue circles at that stage. All Druids and institutions will be paid for their time and space. And right now, there are over 20,000 Druids in service in the OBOD community, and this is also a very healthy potential source of students for Communitas Celticus and for the TCA. So at this stage, with each country representing maybe one Druid, the group size looks to be about the size of 32. Next, we need to call for, or stage 4, we need to bring in institutions which represent North, technology, South, spirit, West, finance and economics, and East, which is consciousness and renewal. So we'll call on the institutional keepers of the North, the East, the South, and the West. The North, which is Reason, will be held by IWT, which is a German-based organization. It's an NPO specializing in robotic technology, digital transformation, and education in the fourth industrial revolution. The East, Renewal, will be held by Professor Liam Wang, founder of the Confucian Institute of Ireland, and he's currently based here in Ireland. The South will be held by Professor Falani Mtembu, Executive Director of the Institute for Global Dialogue, based in Pretoria, part of the UNISA, University of South Africa. And the West, Realization, will be held by the European Investment Bank in Brussels or some other financial institution. At this stage, the community size looks to be around 37. The next stage then is to implement and activate, and this will be done through these 4 different methodologies. So top left-hand corner, the Guild of Ancient Dialogue. So the innovation will be activated by the Guild of Ancient Dialogue, which is an NPO, which I will found, and will become a focus of being an economic enterprise. So we'll develop products, we'll sell intellectual property and services as a circular economy. The consciousness will be activated as a dialogic journey co-led by myself and my Irish business partner, Pamela Page. Each member of the Communitas will undertake a personal and a collective journey of transformation using body, mind, and spirit activities. Connecting, it'll be an activation of the Cohesion Academy of Dialogue, which will train its guides to run dialogue processes as an uncertified Level 9 Da Vinci Institute of Business elective for masters. And the Academy will operate in collaboration with Maynooth University while it's accessing its own HETAC certification. And HETAC is the Higher Education and Training Authority Council of Ireland. The faculty will be myself and Helette Botha, and Helette and I have been delivering this work for the last 10 years. The additional faculty members will be Brenton Nestler and Natasha LaRue, and potentially others who wish to teach in the curriculum as long as they come through the guide path. This stage, we will be moving the Communitas Celticus into at least 2 plots of land, one in Navan as part of the Chinese Educational Far East Office, and the second in Ballymacgeegan, where we hope to establish a Druidic training school. We will also establish a physical presence in South Africa, probably in Rivonia in Johannesburg. The embodiment will be activated through a client laboratory, and at this point we hope it's going to be the Atlantic Economic Corridor, which is a region in Ireland which links all the western seaboard counties as one unified economic region. A group of about 150 staff will be part of that call as an action for the Communitas Celticus within the region as a whole. They will undertake cohesion global dialogue intervention, and this will also be certified with Maynooth as an adult and community education department program. And at this stage, the community is about 200 people. Now we come back to the core of what TCA is about, this idea called gene, grounding, emerging, navigating, and effecting. So integral motion will take place for the gene theme, and it will activate all the moving parts as a coherent organism, which will be grounding, emerging, navigating, and effecting. And the emotional gravity for this will be counterclockwise in order to balance the movement of the rational gravity, which will be the inevitable approach of the inepts and the immature leaders within the system. Because a lot of them will be wanting to know, well, why am I doing this? What am I doing it for? We're going to help them drop into the space of who am I that's doing it. So we'll be providing a counterpoint, countercultural point for that. And at this stage, we'll begin to bring in academic references, accessing theory from leading scientists in the field, such as David Bohm, David Peat, Ronnie himself, the Brehon Law, Barry Cunliffe, Ned Kelly, and also by partnering with the Adult Education Faculty of Maynooth as an academic partner. At this stage, we will also bring in invitations to the Celtic Studies departments of Trinity College, University College Dublin, and Cork University. Then, during the process, we will have to think about how we're going to expand this across the globe. And this network is expanded by adding in co-creators in 8 institutional or international locations. Each of these co-creators will invite an opposite gender person to join them, so it's going to be a male-female group, and they will join the Academy to train as dialogue guides together. Part of the curriculum will be TCA, part of the curriculum will be Druidic practices, and the final part of the curriculum will be to be certified as a dialogue guide. Each integral motion will activate 2 opposing physical locations on the planet to create an 8-lens lattice of light. And what we've chosen is Denmark and Israel in the north. In the east, it's China and India. In the south, although it looks like we might be doing 9, it's the UK, South Africa, and Zimbabwe. And in the west, it's Canada and Argentina. And at this stage, the community size is about 234. So in each of these laboratories, the co-creators will mimic the core CC model. That is the academy, the laboratory, the enterprise, and the dialogic journey. And they will use what we've been doing. So they'll have an operations manual, they'll have material, they'll come and train with us, and then they'll do that themselves. So we multiply those 250 people or so, we multiply that 8 There are now 1,872 people in the system. Then each of those organizations do exactly as we've done. They create exactly the same as we've done. And the ultimate legacy of the Communitas Celticus ecosystem in these 9 countries, excuse me, is to restore the practice of philosophical wholeness. That means making wholeness practical, reframing Communiversity as a conferring institution. Right now, Communiversity is borrowing certifications and conferring from other universities. However, we want it to have its own. We will rebuild a human-centric technology platform. So we'll be we'll be navigating through AI into CI. AI is artificial intelligence, CI is conscious intelligence, making sure that we gather the emotions and the thoughts and the feelings, excuse me, of the members of the community. Finally, we will, sorry. It's actually a peanut from earlier. So by now, we want to regenerate a fully funded circular economy where every member of the system can trade with each other. Days, intellectual property, indigenous wisdom, time, space, accommodation, training, anything. And to be able to trade that amongst ourselves without the need for cash, even though we might create a cyber currency of our own. And by this time, with all the 9 countries and the evolution of the space, we expect to have about 10,368 members of the network. And then the final part is to create an ultimate 30-year vision operating 9 countries as a knowing, a doing, a being, and a becoming ecosystem which can last 7 generations. So this is a 500-year program. The idea is to multiply the successful seeds of Communitas Celticus by spreading the seeds locally and internationally. So what we would want to hope for is transformation at the interface between the organization, the community, and society, delving into the economic, societal, and political psyche, providing an integral approach to self, other, organization, and society, and unfolding and enfolding Celtic psyche as an emerging political and economic science. That's our hope for this 30-year plan. And overall, by the time we get there, we hope to have reached about 46,664 souls, who we hope might bring it to the next level. I think I'll be long dead after that. So thank you for your time and space. I want to stop this now and just run through the slides in full visuals. Okay, so this is stage 1. This is Ronnie and myself being at the center. We expanded with the 6 apprentices. We expanded with the TCA community and the elders of the Guild of Ancient Dialogue. We expanded with the Druids. We grounded with the North, the South, the East, and the West. IWT in the North, Institute for Global Dialogue in the South, Confucian Center in the East, and the European Investment Bank in the West. Then we activate through the Guild as an economic enterprise, the journey led by Pamela and myself, the Cohesion Dialogue Academy, and then build our physical space. And then the client laboratory at the moment will be based in Ireland as a sample for others to use later on. And then we connect with those universities, UCD, Trinity College, Maynooth, and we start to ground, affect, navigate, and merge. That becomes a continuous circle. By then, which is a couple of years down the line, we're now looking to Denmark and Israel, Canada, Argentina, the UK, South Africa, Zimbabwe, China, and India to take our model and push it out and pull it back, of course. And then what we're looking for is a cloning of the model that we have done, obviously based on local cultural mores. And then at this stage, we hope to be speaking about, rebuilding the human-centric technology, regenerating a fully funded model, restoring the praxis of physical wholeness, and reframing communiversity as a confirming institution. And finally, transforming the interface between the organization, the community, and society, delving into the economic, societal, and political psyche, being an integral approach to self, other, organization, and society, and unfolding and enfolding Celtic psyche as an emerging political and economic science. I thank you for your time. It's about 20 minutes. I don't know if I forecast that. I will flag it if you are going to look at this, that this will need 20 minutes of your time. I thank you for the 21 minutes and 40 seconds, and please feel free to contact me, 087 338 9383 or paul@cohesion.global, and I will be delighted to engage with you. Thank you for your time.